Hey everybody, welcome back. I am Chef Lorious, and today I'm going to show you how I make my fantastic, if I say so myself, spaghetti and meat sauce. Come on in the kitchen, let's get this done. All right, we're going to make this simple. We're using crushed tomatoes and tomato sauce. We're going to use some ground beef and some ground sausage. We've got some fresh parsley, oregano, basil, onions, bell peppers, and of course garlic, and a little sugar, a little kiss. I'm going to explain that to you when we get to it. All right, first things, I'm starting with a little bit of olive oil on the bottom of my pan. And with this olive oil, I'm going to go ahead and put in my onions. Woohoo! That sizzle lets me know what's finna happen. I smell it already. And the bell peppers. I like the onions and the bell peppers, obviously for the flavor, but also for the texture, because I like to have I like to feel it when I'm eating it. You know what I'm saying? We don't need a ton of olive oil with these because we're really just trying to kind of sweat these down, get them so they don't have that raw feeling. Just let them kind of have a minute to themselves, you know, to understand that they are setting the foundation for what's about to happen. Okay, my onions are translucent. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? I'm gonna add the garlic now. Now this is freshly chopped garlic, and y'all know I'm usually a garlic paste kind of gal, but some things require fresh garlic, and I'm sorry, spaghetti is one of them. I put the garlic in at this point though, because if the garlic is in there too long, it'll start to burn, and it gets bitter. Nobody wants that, okay? So just towards the end, I put it in there so it can start releasing its flavors and blah, blah, blah. All right, now I'm gonna go in with a pound of ground beef. Okay, and a pound of ground sausage. Why beef and sausage, you ask? The combination of these two is going to set the flavor off. I promise you. I promise you, okay? People will be saying, what did you put in that meat sauce? And you say, I told y'all, this is how you always do it. Oh, that? Oh gosh, I can't even remember. Just some onions and bell peppers, garlic, and of course the ground meat. You see what you're gonna say is ground meat. You're not gonna say ground beef and ground sausage. All right, you see here our meat, our ground meat. That's all we're saying is ground meat, beef and sausage. Are getting close to done, mixing them in lovely and beautifully with our onions and our bell peppers. Now we're going to start adding our herbs. Here we go. We've got some oregano. All right. And we've got some fresh parsley. I'm using dried oregano. Let me just go ahead and say it because I know y'all already looking and asking. The reason I'm using dried oregano today is because I couldn't find fresh, okay? The truth is the truth anyhow. That's why. And my favorite, some fresh basil. I put the herbs in at this point because I don't want them to cook as long as everything else was cooking. I want them to simmer and become one with the meat and the sauce as we're prepared to add it in, all right? Look at that. Y'all know that look good. Now we're gonna hit this with some salt. Even though we used sausage in there, and sausage has a nice salt content to it, pork is salty, yes, we still need to put some salt in this, okay? Just to make sure. And some pepper. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna start doing this and don't have a pepper nearby. Some fresh ground pepper in there. Oh yeah. Now if you wanna make this a spicy sauce, then you could add some red pepper flakes to it. I'm not making it spicy, you can. Another option to make it spicy, use hot sausage. I'm using mild. Mild or sweet sausage is my favorite way to go because it gives you a nice blank canvas to work with and you can build the flavor how you want to. But you know, do you, these is options. Look at that. Y'all know that look good. Okay, our meat is done. This is one of those cases where you want to make sure the meat is completely done before you go on to the next step because we don't want no raw meat, we don't want no raw ground beef or ground sausage. Now we're gonna add in, I like to do crushed tomatoes, okay? And tomato sauce. I like to mix the two together, okay? You can use all crushed tomatoes or all tomato sauce. Often people use all tomato sauce, but I really like using the two together because it gives it a really nice texture. All right, we're gonna mix this together very well. And you're wondering why I didn't strain my meat. I know, I heard that question. You know why? Because that fat, that flavor is your friend, and that's gonna help this whole situation be even better. Now, if you're like me, some people, tomato sauces don't agree with us, and it's because of the acidity in there. So if you take a little sugar, okay, about a tablespoon, that's what I got here, and put it in, it's not gonna make your sauce sweet, okay? But what it's gonna do is break down the acidity in that tomato sauce so it won't be as bothersome to your system. I promise it works. Now, an important thing though about that sugar is you've gotta add it at this stage. If you add it after you finish cooking it and it doesn't have a chance to actually cook with it, it's not gonna do nothing but make it sweet, okay? But you wanna put it in at this stage so it can simmer together and work at breaking down those acids. Another little trick, Parmesan. We love Parmesan, right? You always have these Parmesan wedges left around the house somewhere. You take the wedge and drop it in. It's gonna flavor this as well. Don't worry, the rind's not gonna fall apart, okay? And we're gonna just let this kind of blend for a little bit, sit here, come to a nice simmer. And I got one more little thing I'm gonna do. Okay, y'all hold on, don't leave. I got one more little thing I'm gonna show you I put in here. Now our baby is sitting here simmering. I want y'all to see what's happening. You see this Parmesan wedge we put in there? We're gonna take it out later, but look, it's just, the flavor is just being infused in the sauce. Now, my last little secret weapon is a nice bottle of red wine. I recommend you use a cab. We're gonna just put a couple tablespoons in there, not a ton, okay? And that's gonna add amazing depth to the flavor of this, and you're gonna say, what is that I am tasting? And it's gonna be that red wine. If you don't have red wine, that's okay. If you don't wanna have an actual bottle of wine, you can use cooking wine. So you've got options, but trust your girl, just a little goes a long way. And whatever's left in the bottle, you know what to do with it. Now that everything's in here, you got two options. Go ahead and feed them folks now, or put the lid on and let it simmer for a little bit. Well, our sauce has simmered here beautifully. You see our Parmesan wedge in there just doing what she do? Look at that, she's right there. There she is. I'm gonna give this a little quick taste to make sure this is where I want it to be. Because if it's not where I want it to be, I'm gonna have to do something else. But I'm gonna taste it again. Okay, I'm lying, y'all. Y'all know I already tasted it, right? Oh, but I need to taste it for the camera. Here we go. Oh, okay. I impress myself some days up in this kitchen, y'all. All right, let's serve it up. Here we go. I already got my plate of noodles ready. Now, some people mix the noodles in with the sauce. You can do that. That's fine. This is just the way I do it. Do it how you do it. Okay, look at this. Don't serve that wedge now, okay? But leave the wedge in there. So as the sauce continues to sit, look at that. You know you want some, I want some. Okay, I gotta stop being greedy though. Now, hold on, we gotta give it the kiss. Y'all know I like to give that food a little kiss. Mwah, little kiss, here to go to kiss. Y'all ready for the kiss? We're gonna shave a little bit of Parmesan on here. Not even shredded, I'm shaving it because I think this shaving looks a little fancier and it makes me feel like I'm doing something. It makes me feel gourmet. Okay, all right, who am I kidding, y'all? Let me go ahead on and shave this cheese. Shred this cheese on here, here we go. But I'm telling you, if you use those big shavings and the small ones, you're gonna get a flavor bomb. Okay, I told y'all, I can't taste that pretty plate right there, so I just put me some in a little bowl. And I said country on purpose, and I'm trying to do this neatly. It's not gonna be super neat, but I'm gonna trust that y'all love me anyway. Okay, wait, don't look. That felt like a hug. Let me tell you something. It's not sweet. I mean, that sugar situation I told y'all about, not sweet. The wine we put in adds depth to the flavor. You can just tell that there's something else there. You can't tell what it is. So you can't say, ooh, there's wine in here. It's delicious. This Parmesan wedge in here has infused beautiful flavor throughout the entire pot. And we shredded cheese on top. Everything about this dish is perfect. Make it. All right. That's all for today. Thank you for joining me, Chef Lorious, right here. Check out my playlist. There's a bunch of other stuff, and all my stuff is quick and easy like this, so you won't want to miss any of it. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this video. Tell me your thoughts. Would you want hot sausage? Would you want sweet sausage? Would you add chili flakes? Let's talk about it. I'll answer. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time. Have a blessed day.